Over the last couple months, I've been more preoccupied with taking much deeper looks into MMORPGs. I spent a solid 2 months in World of Warcraft before reviewing Endgame. I've spent almost 2 months in Final Fantasy XIV now and a month in TERA getting ready to review those as well. Likewise, I wanted to take a deeper look at Guardians of Ember, especially since Gameforge sponsored my first look at the game by allowing me access before the open beta was ready. I wanted to attempt to get as far as I possibly could, and I ended up making it to around level 46. Early game is pretty much like it is in every MMO. Easy. You run around doing quests, killing monsters, and learning your character. You run instances, you get some pretty decent leveling gear, and you keep pushing further. Instances are pretty basic at first. While there are 3 difficulties you can change between, the difficulty doesn't really vary much. However, as we continued to level, we noticed that instances became significantly more difficult. My wife, Mrs. STIX, who went... wait, shit. The healer? Whatever the healer was. Cleric? Priest? Priest. She quickly learned that she was unable to survive as a priest arcanist build, but unfortunately she was also unaware of how to play as a priest knight. So she relied solely on me to not only tank, but to also DPS and simultaneously keep everyone alive, which was admittedly difficult. I was a dark knight build, which may or may not have been good, but my heals were incredible. She was actually jealous and felt a little useless, I guess, at times, since I could heal both of us faster than she could, and she was the healer. But I digress. Monsters began to hit very, very hard. Dungeons became much longer. Group spawns increased in quantity, and boss monsters became more challenging to kill. All of this made for a far more entertaining experience for us, as my wife and I love challenging encounters. We are gluttons for punishment, I guess. What more can I say? Thankfully, the combat in Guardians of Ember is good for the genre. Skills are fast and easy to use. I think I touched on the combat in the first video, but I mean, I'd only played through until level 10 when I had, so... yeah, the skill system allows for more customization than I initially realized, providing an unquestionably sizable amount of control over what your skills do. I opted to turn half of my DPS skills into heals because although my wife is undoubtedly a fantastic healer, an unquestionably fantastic healer, I felt like maybe she died far too easily. And I personally wanted to be of, I guess, more use to her. Not because she couldn't keep me alive. No, of course not, definitely not. Nope. This, of course, made it more difficult for me to kill things, and her DPS, wow. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a DPS, then let me tell you, Priest is not the way to go, definitely not. Since the vast majority of the game takes place either in the open world killing monsters for quests or in instances killing monsters for quests, it's always reassuring to know the feature you're going to spend the most time partaking of doesn't suck. Honestly though, I feel like the most dangerous part of the game was actually the open world. There are so many monsters that just swarm you that running from location to location as anything other than a tank is an almost certain death trap. Which was, I guess, actually kind of funny, as my wife loves running off alone. And it was nice. Terrible. It was terrible. An emotionally destroying experience. Seeing her die just repeatedly over and over and over since she all but refused to ever wait for me. Yeah, just heartbreaking. Now, I know I touched on housing in the first video as well, or I guess I didn't really touch on it. I more mentioned that you can buy one and decorate it however you like, but I mean, I was poor and I couldn't really afford shit. This time was different though. This time I had accumulated millions, billions of gold. I could build a castle fit for a king, for a god. I chose to be a little more modest though, and instead opted to purchase a little house in the nearby town and decorate it with some nice rugs, animal skins, a table, and 2 chairs. One for each of my adorable little sprite slaves. Yes, they're trapped henceforth in servitude of their new lord and savior, me. Seriously though, the housing system is pretty unique. It offers a lot of freedom to customize your house however you like, and although I really only purchased what was readily available from the local store, I am sure that there is a lot more to find. My wife did her house up quite a bit differently to mine. We actually wanted to showcase the very distinct difference in styles, but we couldn't really figure out how to visit one another's house, so instead, Yeah, sorry about that, honey. The looting and gear system in this game, though, is something I'd only ever seen in games like Borderlands. Like, legit, I have never seen so many items drop from monsters. I feel as though every monster I killed had just gotten through ransacking a village or something. It was crazy. Trash items, green items, blue items, purple items. Every few minutes, whatever field I was in looked like a rainbow. And, I mean, technically, if you sell the items, there is a pot of gold at the end of it. So, yeah, cool. I think I spent more time in my inventory than in any other screen. Like every 10 to 15 minutes, I got some cool new weapons, some new piece of gear that was slightly better than what I had on, so, you know, that's always fun. There's nothing worse than having a game with tons of customization like Blade and Soul and then removing the option to equip gear. Like, what? Granted, I feel as though far too many trash quality items are thrown at me. At times, I felt a little like I guess like a dumpster. The game is pretty expansive. From what I could tell, the max level was 60, and there are zones dedicated for literally every level of your character. Yes, some of them are kind of generic. Forests filled with, you guessed it, trees. Caves filled with rocks, but I mean, it doesn't detract from the game overall, rather it lends a sense of familiarity. The zones scale ridiculously with level, though. I attempted to go into a higher level zone, then I got, wrecked. Yeah, like, I felt as though a piano had fallen onto my body, a truck had like driven over me, and then I got hit by a bus all at the same time. So, be warned. All in all, I played through what I believe to be a decent amount of Guardians of Ember. I never did hit endgame, and there are parts of the game that I never got to fully participate in or try out, to my regret. But what I did play was a game like Path of Exile, a game like Diablo that offered me something new. I'm well aware of the game's history, but under Gameforge, you can at least be certain that you have a publisher with experience. I enjoyed the combat, I enjoyed playing through the game, and I enjoyed customizing my character in a way self-reliant, I guess, nigh unkillable tank healer hybrid of death that spins while singing Beyblade for 80% of the time he plays. Improvements could be made, yes, naturally, that is the same for any game. Will they be? Maybe, I don't know, but as it stands, the game is still nonetheless a fun game to burn time in. Should you? For sure. It's something new, it's something sparkly. Definitely give it a go if you haven't already. What do you have to lose, a bit of time? Bah. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more goodness like this, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Oh, hey.